Imagine going to sleep in a peaceful village, fires burning low, cattle resting in their barns, dinner plates left on wooden tables, and by sunrise, everyone is gone. Not a single body, not a single scream heard, no signs of struggle, just silence. This is the story of a village that reportedly vanished overnight. No warning, no clues, and no explanation that ever truly made sense. Stay with me until the end, because the final theory might change how you see this mystery forever. Deep in the remote northern wilderness near Angikuni Lake in present-day Canada, there was said to be a small Inuit settlement living a quiet life in the early 1930s. Families hunted, fished, and survived together in one of the harshest climates on Earth. In November 1930, a fur trapper named Joe LaBelle allegedly arrived at the village, a place he had visited before. But this time something felt wrong. No smoke rising from chimneys, no children playing, no dogs barking. He entered the huts and found dinner pots still filled with food, tools left behind, rifles resting against the walls, something no hunter would ever abandon. It looked as if the villagers had stood up at the exact same moment and walked out into the freezing night. LaBelle searched the entire settlement. Not one person remained. The reports that followed became even stranger. Some stories claimed the sled dogs were found dead, starved, and still tied to their posts. Others said graves had been opened. And most chilling of all, there were accounts of footprints leading away from the village that suddenly stopped in the snow, as if whoever made them simply vanished into thin air. Authorities were notified and investigations reportedly began, but no bodies were officially recovered and no clear explanation was ever confirmed. Some believe the villagers fled due to a sudden natural threat. Perhaps cracking ice, starvation, or extreme weather forced them to evacuate quickly. But why leave behind food? Why leave weapons? Why abandon sled dogs, their most important survival tools? In the Arctic, such decisions would mean certain death, and these were experienced survivors who understood that better than anyone. Others argue the story was exaggerated from the beginning. Inuit communities often relocated seasonally, so perhaps the village had simply moved and the trapper misunderstood the situation. Maybe newspapers in the 1930s sensationalized the event, turning an ordinary relocation into a chilling mystery that sold headlines. But witnesses described half-finished meals and personal belongings untouched. Would an entire community really leave without packing essentials or informing nearby settlements? And if it was just a legend, how did it spread so widely and endure for decades? Then there are darker theories, stories of strange lights seen in the sky around that time. Whispers that the villagers witnessed something they couldn't explain, something that drove them into the frozen wilderness. Whether you believe in unknown forces or not, the landscape itself makes the mystery harder to ignore in a region where footprint can stretch for miles across untouched snow. How does an entire community disappear without leaving a clear trail? Today, Angikuni Lake remains silent, winds sweeping across frozen water, snow covering whatever traces may once have existed. If a village once stood there, nature has nearly erased every sign of it. No official resolution. No final report that closes the case completely. Only a story passed down through generations and one haunting question. Can an entire village really disappear overnight? Or is the greater mystery how easily stories can blur the line between fact and legend? Mysteries like this don't come together by accident. We spend hours researching archives, reading old reports, comparing sources, rewriting scripts again and again, designing visuals, shaping sound, and working late into the night to turn historical mysteries into cinematic stories for you. If this story gave you chills, if you felt the silence of that frozen village, then support the hard work behind these videos by subscribing to the channel. Every subscription tells us to keep digging deeper, keep searching for forgotten stories, and keep bringing you mysteries that challenge what we think we know. And trust me, the next one we're working on might be even darker.